a second here. This is actually, this is a classroom.
Okay.
We practice their skills and do workshops and things like that in here.
Okay. The foundation.
I think we can step out a little.
Oh man, we be.
Yeah, it's a member benefit, right? So,
Okay, where is the foot?
It's not gap, it's our yeah.
we have 7, 8, and part of 9 and part of 2.
And this is our foundation. It has an on-camera lab where people can come and they can tape auditions or practices.
Okay.
And this is, I actually just learned this myself, open Monday through Friday, but we also have weekend hours. So
Okay.
members can come in and record themselves.
But yeah, we're recording here.
Okay. So can I come and record my audition now? I'm an affiliated member.
You're a member, so you can. Yeah. I heard the spots go fast.
Yeah.
They are.
Got here, we got a little bit of a kitchen area, and we got an outdoor space that we use. We use this space for member events also. We had a national board meeting here a couple weeks ago and used this for lunch and things like that. Oh,
Yeah, so this is an audio and video recording studio that we use for our production. So
Okay.
we have a podcast that we
Yes.
produce every other week. We do a lot of videos. So for us, it just makes sense to have a dedicated space for it. It's obviously freezing cold and
That's what I've seen.
you're like, I couldn't want
What the?
Action now.
Oh yeah, I'm here with you.
But you know, we were, I said that. I said, well, you know, we get the lights and all, but during the pandemic, we really started, we had to switch everything virtual, so we started doing more and more.
Brangani, hello.
So this is our residuals department. We are a staff of 28 people. During the quarter, we bring in a couple, 3 or 4 temps, so our staff increases just because of the sheer volume. So we process residuals on a daily basis. 4 times a year, we get theatrical residuals. So every quarter, the amount of residuals increases exponentially. It's a lot. So this last quarter, we just processed, I think, close to 700,000 checks.
Wow.
It took us on average about 37 days to get those out. So normally our commitment is to try to get residuals out within 30 days or less, but during the quarter, because of the volume, sometimes that number goes up a little bit. As of right now, we've processed a little over 5.3 million checks. So, and that probably number by the end will be probably over 6 million processed. This quarter coming up is going to be actually our heaviest quarter. But so let me show you where it all starts. So if you follow me this way.
Okay.
Residuals get delivered usually by courier, some by mail, and normally they arrive in boxes like this. So during the quarter, you can't even walk in here because we have so many boxes of raw boxes and stuff that we have to unload. So residuals are divided into 2 different areas. One is we have what we call our electronic processing, meaning we still get the actual physical checks, but the data that comes with it for what we're supposed to pay comes electronically in a file. So what happens is we get that file, we upload it into our system, we scan the checks, and then the 2 are married together and they're matched up by check number. Okay? So once that's done, the system does all the work for us. It updates everything, the performer, the production, the markets being paid. And what happens is if there's any discrepancies, it'll spit out what we call exception reports, which we have to work, clean those reports out so we can continue to push the batch through to processing, which will eventually be posted and mailed or sent directly just paper. So we get a paper backup of the data, which we call a schedule, and then we get a physical check, and somebody will enter that information from the check and from the schedule into the system. Same thing, once it's done through the process, it gets what we call posted, and then it gets either assigned a mail date, or it gets assigned a date to be sent to the lockbox for it to be deposited. You'll see these trays. This is what it's got a lot of information on it. It's got all who the payer is. It's got all this information for who's being paid, the market, whatnot, the amount. Okay. Any questions so far?
No, I understand also that even for who have diverted from the experiment maybe very early in life, they were here, but somehow they decided to divert to another chosen course or chosen vocation. Maybe right now they are medical doctors.
Right.
Earlier in life they were in entertainment.
Right.
I also understand that they also kept residuals,
Right.
the use of their work and all of that.
Yes, residuals are paid out basically almost for an eternity. So you get paid your residual. Let's just say you pass away, you have a beneficiary that will then be entitled to your residual payments.
Okay, so my question is, how do you detect defaulters? Those who are not paying up. The users of
Correct.
the business are not paying and they refuse to pay. How would you find out?
So we have a claims department dedicated to when residuals are not paid, either if they're late or the producer has not paid. A claim is filed, and the producer then will work, or the claims department will work with the producer and or the studio to make sure that that payment gets paid. Unfortunately,
There's
we do
a
have,
department for that.
there's a specific department that handles that as part of our contracts department. This department is just responsible for processing residuals. We also have a subset of this department, which is our trust and estates area, and they handle, say, we do have quite a bit of members that we haven't identified. Either they don't have enough data in their address, or we don't have information on them. But we'll go out and we'll search for these people in order to pay them their residuals. So we have a department dedicated to that.
Okay. For someone who probably be receiving and travel, no contact, nothing, you have a way of saving it?
Yes, we have. It's put into trust, so we deposit the checks into our trust, and it sits there until we're able to locate the person, and then we'll release the money from trust and pay the person accordingly.
Thank you, sir.
So I'm going to show you one other area, which is our mail room. You'll see some big machines that we use. Here is.
Sorry,
The checklist is processed and it's ready to be sent out, either by
oh,
or
tell me.
This is a statement that will generate for the performer. So it has their address, it has all their personal information, and it has everything that they're being paid for. What the production is, what market, and how much they're being paid in each market for a total. So each one of these goes with a check. Okay? So what happens is we have the checks already, they're placed inside the machine, and then it'll spit out a statement, and the statement is matched up by this barcode. So this barcode is a check number. So this check number matches the check number that's being printed, it matches it up, and keeps it together, and then it goes over there to that machine right there, and it gets inserted into the envelope and payment. Anything that, if a performer is on direct deposit, there's also another barcode for that where we'll spit it out into a separate tray, and those are given off to another department for them to send to the bank for deposit. Questions?
For general, how many departments do you have on that receiving?
So there's the residual business is broken up into two areas. We have on the front end, on the residual processing, and the back end is the trust and estate. They handle the mailing of the checks. They also handle the trust part, where they're trying to find performers, any type of address update, any type of changes, they handle that stuff. That's considered after work processing. Okay?
Thank you. Hi, Dinah.
Abubakar, come and see that. And him will be mailing
Yeah, I know.
over
Been
here.
emailing for a long time.
Hi, Dinah.
How many years, right? Yeah, I know.
Hi, Dinah.
And this is Pentane. She's another one of our.
Hello.
Yeah, she watches a lot of Nigerian films.
She apparently recognizes something.
Yeah.
You know, the first time we started, I thought you were a guy.
No,
Lagan.
I'm still around,
Wow.
but I will retire.
No.
This is just more. This is the containment contracts department. This is Duncan's office.
Okay.
This is his conference room. He's out
Okay.
there. This is theatrical contracts over here. The other side is television contracts. And downstairs we have commercials. And that's pretty much it. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank
So
you.
let's go back. We'll go back into the founders now.
So Georgina Ibe for Emeke Abo, a former Walter Anga. Sure.
I'm right here. I counted for it. Okay, we don't play, man. Nollywood don't play.
Major, you may not be able to entertain any twine relationship now. Even then, SAG was also having twine relations with Ghana after this. And after then, I didn't become president because when I came here, then I was the secretary. So after many years of me not being in power, when I came back to office, I felt it was necessary to continue with that request because Associate of Nigeria was set up some 25 years ago in Nigeria. We have about 1 million members. In Nigeria, we are present in 24 states of Nigeria. In terms of the members paying dues, you have very less number of people paying dues. When we got affiliated with Federation of International Actors sometime in 2011, it became very necessary for us to drive some of these reasons why we're having short membership interest. We found out that the problem was that most studios, most companies who were hiring actors in Nigeria never paid them well, so they don't have enough to pay dues. We also noticed that very recently we've had very big corporations coming into Nigeria, from the Netflix to Amazon to all of them. There were no viable contracts between us and these people, and even if there were contracts, they were individual contracts. And then again, we found out also that a lot of welfare issues were there. So we were trying to look for global organizations that we can have very strong learning appeal, how they were able to put their own together, which was why we needed this one relationship. Because we know that from where we're coming from, SAGAFTRA has a whole lot that we can learn from, strengthen what we're doing to make it bigger and strengthen in Nigeria. That's why we felt that we should come back again with this request, appealing to SAG to see that we still have this twining relationship. And then again, we would also, within this request, like you mentioned, see some of the activities of SAG that we saw the last time we came, like the residual room, what does the contract look like? We want to set up the AGN Screen Awards, just in replica of the Screen Actors Guild Award here, to make our guild strengthened enough to make members believe in what we're doing, and then see that that unionism really works. Because we have been in touch with FIA all this while, but the essence of an organization like AGN, far away West Africa, being in a relationship or in affiliation with an organization in Belgium as headquarters, what are the benefits? What are you gaining from this affiliations, if not looking for organizations like SAGAFTRA to have very strong to meet and see how we can create trainings and retrainings to make our guild stronger. And that's the essence of our. Then before now, we now decided also that we will set up a kind of an annual engagement in Los Angeles that will help us create diplomatic relationship with the film industry, so that in situations where there are projects or films that needed original African actors or regional Nigerian actors, these projects will not begin to look for non-original Africans to interpret these original African roles. And why it has been happening all this while was because we didn't see any of these available regional African actors anywhere close. So we decided to set up what we call the Actors Marketplace, which we now said is going to be an annual event. So we believe that annually, if we come around, we must have this same relationship, have discussions with the SAGAFTRA during a gala or dinner or an outing that will show that there is a networking relationship. It will make producers, casting agencies be able to say, oh, we have a Nollywood industry that is the second largest in the world, and we twine with their actors. So when we need actors and their professionals who we need them in very deep African roles, we can call them over. And we deepen this relationship so that, just like she said, she's a member of SAGAFTRA, she's here, she's planning to come into Nollywood. We want to create a relationship when you're already big in Nollywood and you want to cross over here to do stuff. We're able to request from the embassy, okay, let us change your B1, B2 visa to a working visa so we can allow you have opportunity here. All of these are engagements we need to put together in the course of this relationship. I'm happy that when we had our gala night, we invited SAGAFTRA and you came there. You saw it was quite exciting event. A lot of Africans were around. We're expecting that as the event grows more, we'll begin to look for stars, big time celebrities to attend, to see that we have that strong relationship, that engagement, networking. People are beginning to see, okay, this is a relationship, what we need to gain from all this, because the world is already a global village. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you very much. Rebecca, I didn't know if there was anything you wanted to say off the top before we start with the sort of presentation.
I wasn't sure if you wanted to do the presentation first, and then I could jump in, or I could just also say I do actually remember that visit from around the time of merger, and it's wonderful to have you back. Will's going to walk us through a presentation just to sort of give you the modernized version of where SAGAFTRA is, just so we're all talking from the same point. In terms of speaking more about FIA, I'm very, very happy to do that, and we can do that in this meeting, and then if you have additional questions afterwards, we can also follow up with that. I'm gonna, my email's very easy to remember. It's RebeccaDamon@sagaftra.org, and Will can pass that on to you, but I do highly recommend that as a vehicle. So while FIA is based out of Brussels, the network of FIA is through all the countries with advanced entertainment communities throughout the world, and I think there is a huge benefit from that collaboration, both in the tools and resources that we all share there together, but also very specifically as more and more work does come to Africa, the uniting of Afro-FIA to sort of work towards better standards for your members who are working in entertainment and media. So we can talk more about that, but Will should do the dive in first.
Thanks, Rebecca. Okay, here we go. SAGAFTRA 101.
Got the cameras on
Got
you,
the
like
cameras.
you're the actor now.
I am. It's stressful. The bright lights. Okay, SAGAFTRA. We protect and empower entertainment and media professionals to enrich people's lives. That's our overall sort of mission. This room is called the Founders Room. It's named after the founders of the union. There are two great unions, Screen Actors Guild, established in 1933, and you can see some of the founding members of that union. And AFTRA, 5 years later, established primarily to represent radio and television artists. So both been around for a long time. You can see the picture on the left is actually hanging right back there. The two unions merged in 2012, which was a very exciting moment for both, and created additional leverage and bargaining with the studios. I think it was to the really unquestionably a benefit to our members that occurred. It's not the first time we tried to do it, but it was the one that finally succeeded, and I think we're all of us that were involved in that are really proud of those efforts. We have approximately 160,000 members, and contract earnings from 2023 of $4 billion. We're a national union, so we have locals throughout the country. We've got 15 that are brick and mortar, and we've got 15 different locals, and some of them have offices, some of them are just serviced by other actual physical locations. Our core functions as a union, we've got 4 core functions: contract negotiation, administration and enforcement of those contracts, organizing new members, and residuals processing. These are the things that we do to service our members: wages, working conditions, safety, organizing, of course, residuals. Very important to our members to receive that income stream between projects, and to be able to qualify for health insurance and for retirement savings. We have the pension plan, and we also do a lot of public policy advocacy, lobbying, government affairs type work as well, to not only further protect our members, but other working performers nationally and also internationally. Residuals is compensation for reuse of content, and we, in the last few years, have started to process residuals via direct deposit, so we're not sending out as many paper checks as we used to, and we have more and more members actually signing up for that process. Our contracts are TV theatrical, commercials, corporate educational, new media, interactive, news and broadcast. That covers like the newscasters that you see on TV. We also have sound recordings, musical artists, audiobooks, music videos, podcasts. Some of our newer contracts, podcast influencers. We now actually have a contract that covers influencers. And of course, we're very proud that we cover Telemundo and have Spanish language covered contracts as well. We also have independent film low budget agreements. Just fine, I had something I wanted to mention about. Just go back for a second. This slide, because I think it's worth mentioning that year to date, 2024, we processed over 5 million individual checks, representing over $1 billion in gross payments to our members. That's just for residual payments, which I think is really impressive and sort of shows the value that collective bargaining and organizing and residuals can provide for actors between jobs. As you all know, last year we had a really important groundbreaking strike that went on for most of the summer. We have some video we're going to roll of that after we get through the presentation, but it resulted in incredible gains for us and for our members, particularly in areas of wages, artificial intelligence. There were a lot of issues around casting, coverage, and safety, things like that. So it was definitely a momentous event in the film community, both here and worldwide. We favor new technologies. We do a lot, and you'll see this is a slide. This is, I think, from last year, but we're having another one this year. There's the Consumer Electronics Show every year in Las Vegas. We put on, along with, in conjunction with AFL-CIO, we put on a Labor Innovation and Technology Summit, which will be at again in January. AI protections. These are some new provisions that were just included in the contract for the very first time. And I think it bears repeating that before this strike and this contract, there was virtually no protections for our members for use of their digital replicas using AI, generative AI, and for the first time ever, we actually now have some protections for our membership. And I don't know, I saw Rebecca pop on, I don't know if you want to speak more to that.
Sure, I was just checking because Jeff Bennett, who's our general counsel, and I often tag team on these topics. You know, in the public policy space, whether that is on a local and state level, like we recently had major achievements in California, New York, Tennessee, or whether it's on the federal level, we've introduced things like the No Fakes Act. It's very important for us to advance these conversations. And one of the ways that we do that also is internationally to encourage norm setting in all of the different nations. We work heavily with the EU and other governments around the world, both through our USTR as well as the Commerce Department, to try to make sure that this is taking a worker-centered approach as people feel out what the guardrails might look like for the next generation of people working in the entertainment industry. So we're very active in that space. Our executive director, Duncan Crabtree Ireland, who is an international expert on this, has gone multiple different conferences to present just on this topic. And I'm sure that at some point maybe Shira or somebody else in the room can make sure that you guys walk away with some really good links to think about what that norm setting might look like in your country. Of Duncan speaking on this topic. We have so much recorded media, I won't go and take the time on it. You guys are anxious to get to it.
Yes, exactly, you don't need to. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'll go back to you, Will.
Okay, thanks, Rebecca. You'll see here that this slide we've got a phone number to call related to onset safety, which of course is very important. We have a whole team of field representatives. Their entire job is to go out to active movie sets and make sure that our rules and regulations are being complied with, especially around things like